What's good, Chiefs Kingdom? Saturday, getting ready to kick off Super Wild Card Weekend here. So we've got a special Saturday edition episode of Chiefs Kingdom Live. We're glad you could join us. If this is your first time checking out the show, or if you haven't already done it before, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. We're going to have some good content. The games matter, infinitely more now that we're into the playoffs. So, as always, joined by Bo and Nick. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm ready for some playoff football. How are you guys?
I'm doing great. Just woke up about 30 minutes ago, ready to pick some games, ready to catch Scott on these pick'ems and win myself an undetermined prize, I guess.
You got some wood to chop there, buddy. So,
a lot of underdogs.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Crazy. Obviously, we broke it down in the last episode we did Wednesday night when we had our special guest Joe Valerio on. If you haven't watched that, go back after we're done here today and check out that episode, the interview we did with Joe. Just talking about blocking Derek Thomas and playing in the Monday Night Football Classic shootout at Mile High with John Elway and Joe Montana. Marty training camp stories. The dude was just unbelievable, honestly. And he even was throwing some life lessons and shit in there on us. So can't thank him enough for joining us on Wednesday. And like I said, if you didn't get to see that, go back after this episode and watch at least the first hour with Joe. It was really good stuff. We crazy 18 week 17 game season. Couldn't have played out better for the NFL, honestly, going down to that Chargers-Raiders Sunday Night Football game. I mean, it was literally like the playoff form that was set with seconds remaining in overtime of the last game of the last weekend. There was 10 different scenarios going into that game in the AFC, it seemed like, for who was going to play who. Just really ridiculously dramatic. Everything the NFL does turns to gold, it seems like, except for the referees. Their officiating still sucks. But other than that, the NFL, it's the greatest. In America, greatest sports league by far. Baseball, basketball, MLS, they don't even come close to the NFL. So we're going to get into the games here. We did a Chiefs Kingdom Live poll earlier in the week. See what everybody thought about the game. So if you're watching live, go ahead and send us some comments. Send us your picks. We'd love to see who everybody thinks is going to win. We got our Chiefs Kingdom poll results. We'll be bringing up as we talk about the games. Let's just break into that first game. Starts here in I think about 3 hours. Raiders at Bengals.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna
Las Vegas travel to Cincinnati. Looks like Chiefs Kingdom, pretty heavy favorite. Bengals, maybe there's some Raider hatred reflected in that poll.
You think?
Seems like all the other games were a lot closer, but so the Kingdom. Want to thank everybody who participated in the poll. That helps us out. How are you guys thinking, Bo? Raiders, Bengals. What are your thoughts?
Well, I haven't participated in your polls, sadly, but I do agree with the majority of everybody there. I do think that the Bengals are going to kind of come out and just be a really good team this weekend. Pretty generic take, I know, but this is actually going to be where I think I'm going to be able to catch up on a game. I think this is actually going to be an upset, even though the Bengals are a good team. They got Jamar Chase, they got Joe Burrow. I feel like a lot of their connections have just been like 500 ball, like old school backyard, tossing the ball up. And, Jamar Chase, he's been good enough to get it, but we're in the playoffs now. Defenses are ready for that. I don't think they're going to get as lucky. I mean, that'll still probably happen a couple times, but I'm actually thinking the Raiders might have an upset here. I'm going to kind of take them to actually beat the Bengals here. I have to come back on Scott somehow, and I think this is a great game to do it. The Raiders are playing strong as much as I hate to admit it. They somehow squeezed into the playoffs. Who would have thought that? Beating out, America's favorite team, new favorite team. Nobody gets to see the Golden Boy, so that's pretty awesome. Good on the Raiders for that. I'll pick the Raiders here by 3. How are you feeling about this game, Nick?
Yeah, I'm leaning with you, Bo. One of the interesting things here is Derek Carr has never actually played in a playoff game, right? As long as he's been in the league, they made the playoffs one time, but his leg was broken. I think second to last game of the season, and he
Oh, that's right.
missed the playoffs. That was the infamous "it's broke" play where he had that horrible audio of him when he was in the pile. So I don't know. Cincinnati hasn't won a playoff game since 1991. I do feel the same way though about Burrow even said it. He was referencing I've always heard it as the Tyreek Hill deal. I don't know if it originated outside of there, but F it, Tyreek Hill's down there somewhere. And he said that during his post game, and that's what he was doing against the Chiefs, right? And Ward just, didn't get to the ball because Chase was mostly covered except for when he shoved off in the end zone. So I'm going to pick the Raiders as much as
how am I supposed to put myself apart if you're going to pick the same team here?
Well, I don't need to gain on you. I need to gain on Scott.
Scott, don't tell me you're going with the Raiders too.
Well, I could play the safe play here. Just
All right.
Fucker.
I could just pick the Raiders. No, I don't think the Raiders are going to win this game.
Okay.
The Bengals handled the Raiders fairly easily earlier in the year in Las Vegas. The Raiders, I haven't looked at them as a playoff team all season, honestly. I know and you can't. It's hard to say they snuck in because they're not even the 7th seed here. They're up there. But they've got some bad losses. I don't know how many good wins they had. That Chargers win. They're not even a playoff team though, so I don't know how good of a win that is.
Right.
Derek Carr, I don't see him showing up in the big game. The Bengals. The one thing I will say is Joe Burrow didn't play last week, and he was hopping around. He was kind of limping around at the end of that Chiefs game the week before. If he's hurt, if his mobility is, compromised, his escapability, his willingness and his ability to get out of the pocket and make plays, if he can't do that and the Raiders pass rush can get to him and harass him a little bit, I don't think the Bengals have a strong running game. So I think there's an outside chance that if Burrow is hurt, the Raiders could pull this thing off. But going on the road, facing a team that's hungry like the Bengals, like Nick said, they're due for a playoff win. The Raiders, I just haven't seen them as a playoff caliber team really all season. They had some really, really bad losses. So I'm gonna pick the Bengals to get it done at home in the first game of the wild card weekend here.
It's interesting, those two teams, right? One, you can just touch their quarterback, that team falls apart, and then the other team, their quarterback just seems to love getting hit. Like Joe Burrow, I don't know. It's he wants to. I don't know.
That's why he takes all those sacks, man.
Yeah, that's going to be where the Raiders win the game, is if they can harass Burrow and get him on the ground and pressure him, especially, like I said, if he's a little bit dinged up. They didn't play last week. I know they said they were resting, but they had better seeds and they had an opportunity. It wasn't like they were playing for nothing, and he didn't play. So the last thing we saw of him was him kind of limping around against the Chiefs at the end of that game. So that'll be interesting to see. But I'm going with the rest of the kingdom here on the poll. I'm going Bengals. So
hate to go against the kingdom, but got to catch you somehow. I knew that was probably going to be the case right there.
Yeah.
All right, next game we got. What do we got, Nick?
The next game is Patriots-Bills. So from our Twitter account here, looks like we got 70% going with the home team, the Bills against the Patriots. 23 votes. So it's pretty solid in favor of the Bills winning this game.
Scott, I'll let you pick first. What do you got on this one?
Oh, I got to go first now, huh?
Just this.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we'll alternate.
I
But
know. I'm just giving you shit, buddy. No, I don't know who to pick in this game, man. The Bills should win, right? Josh Allen is a better quarterback. They're playing at home. Stephon Diggs is a better playmaker than anybody that the Patriots have on offense. But there's just something about I can't buy into the Bills right now. That's going to be an inclement weather. It's going to be cold. I saw some, there was some wind, nothing like the Wind Bowl they played in a few weeks ago, where
right.
the Patriots won the game completing 2 passes, or Mac Jones went 2 or 3 or whatever it was.
3 attempts or something.
But I have a hard time picking against Bill Belichick and that defense in this game in the playoffs. I don't know. I just can't buy in on the Bills. They peaked earlier in the season, but you could also, and I could go back and second guess myself and say, well, the Patriots haven't looked that great either. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. They're stubbing their toe. They're kind of limping into the postseason, coasting in on fumes. So I'm gonna pick the Pats in this game.
Ooh.
I think they get it done. The coaching edge to me is the biggest advantage for either team in this game. So I'm gonna roll Pats. Who you got, Nick?
Yeah, give me the Patriots all day. I know that the Bills beat them in basically a do or die game earlier this season. I know that the Patriots have a rookie quarterback. I do lean heavily on the coaching advantage here. I was listening to something earlier, and I was surprised that the Bills look like they have the number 1 defense, right? Scoring defense and yards. So that was surprising for me to hear. When you go up against a Bill Belichick team and you see that, Josh Allen has 750 rushing yards and he's thrown for 4,000 yards, they seem like a one-trick pony, right? It's like the real life version of what Joe was saying on his interview. It's like Josh Allen, to here, Josh Allen to there. It's like that's like all he's like their whole team, right? So, and Bill Belichick is known for keeping people out of their comfort zone in what they do best. So, and if you only got one guy, right, that's doing, making it all happen, I think that in the playoffs, that's a bad recipe. So maybe their defense keeps them in it just because they're very limited with a rookie quarterback who looks like he's going to be a fine player, but he's not looking like he's a transcendent talent at QB, at least at this stage in his career. So I'm going Patriots here. I'm going with the experience. I think that Bill Belichick has probably coached in almost as many playoff games as Josh Allen has played in regular season games, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that there are tickets going for this game for like $40 because it's supposed to be cold and windy?
Yeah, 0 degrees or something like that at kickoff. We got Carol in the comments. Wow.
It's fascinating to me that like a playoff game, regardless of the temperature, is $40, but you have to go to like Las Vegas if you want to see that shit team play anytime during the regular season. It's like $500-$600. It's baffling. But anyway, I'm gonna have to. What's that?
Disappointing from Bills Mafia, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it really is, right? There's no demand. It's 0 degrees. Like, wear a coat, wear a face mask. Like,
right.
I'm an avid snowboarder. I know how to dress for the weather, I guess.
Maybe they see the hammer falling and they're like, I'm not going to go freeze my ass off to watch us get teabagged by Bill Belichick again.
Right.
I will have to agree with you guys. Like, a playoff Belichick is his record proves it. You know what I mean? He has an outstanding record in the playoffs. He's scary. He's good. But a lot of those records came with Tom. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of those stats also came with Tom. He is a great coach. I'm not trying to deny that. But I just don't think that Mac Jones has the same caliber of style and skills to bring to the table in the playoffs that previous quarterbacks in New England have that kind of made Bill Belichick shine a little bit. You're right. He does game plan pretty well. Like, you know what I mean? He ran it on them. He only let Mac Jones throw 3 times. I don't think you can do that this game. you're going to have to break the mold a little bit. But we'll see. I'm going to have to just go counter to catch Scott, though. I'm going to go Buffalo. I think Buffalo does have what it takes. They got great receiver in Diggs. They got Josh Allen, who, like Nick was saying, he can do it all. He's like a white Lamar Jackson. He's awesome. He's pretty good. And so, yeah, I'll take Buffalo to win it.
Yeah, that's I was going to say, you got to be licking your chops there when Nick and I picked the Pats. I mean, the Bills were favored. They're at home in that game. But, again, I just have a hard time picking against Belichick and McDermott, man, the Bills coach. They're just I don't know. Like Nick said, Bill Belichick always has kind of been known for saying you can always take away one thing at least from somebody and make them do something that they don't want to do. I think he can neutralize Josh Allen and see what they can do. Play defense. Maybe they run the ball a bunch, try to control the clock.
If Josh Allen doesn't shoot himself in the foot and throw dumb interceptions like he has in the past, like I think he has it though. He's good enough.
I mean, you saw in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, you can get him frustrated. You know, you can get him knocked off of his game. You can get him to where he's throwing errant passes. So, and who's better at doing that than Bill Belichick? I mean, as much as I hate going up against him, I mean, you just have to recognize that he is a great strategic coach. So
yeah, for sure. I'm not saying he's not. I just don't think he has the star power to back it up.
Right. No, the Bills are the favorite. So
for sure, yeah. Well, they're the home team, So it's
they're the favorite. But Carol's back in the comments. Pats have an advantage, but any given Sunday, you're right there, Carol.
Right.
Any given Sunday. This game to me is maybe aside from the NFC game, the 49ers Cowboys game, which we'll talk about here pretty quick. Is the closest to a coin flip of a game,
right?
In the slate of games this weekend. So, moving on to the NFC games on Sunday.
Yeah, we got the Eagles Bucks here. Twitter poll. This one was closer than what I thought.
It's a lot closer than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, 59 in favor of the Bucks, but I mean that's 41% for the 7-seed Eagles. Jalen Hurts at quarterback. That's a testament to that coach, right?
Right.
Coming in, this is his first season, right? After they fired Doug Peterson.
First or second. I can't.
Yeah, he's relatively new, and I mean when we played the Eagles earlier this year, like. I mean, I have friends that are Eagles fans, so I want to be kind, but I mean, their team looked like kind of a joke I mean, I'll just be fair. They didn't look like a playoff team when we played them. And so for them to sneak into the 7 seed there, it's impressive. So, Scotty, I'm going to make you go first again. Sorry, bro.
No, you go first now.
Okay, I'll go first. I thought
he was going to pull it off. I was like, yeah.
No.
Almost had it. All right, I'm gonna go Eagles with a frog in my throat. I'm gonna pick the upset because the Bucs have quite a few people that are injured or quit their team in the middle of the game, and so let's go. I mean, I gotta pick up games somewhere, right?
I like it. Man, I want to go with you on this one, but I know it's like a dumb bet to go against the defending Super Bowl champions, especially when they have Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure that meme that's been going around this week of Tom Brady's face is like, hey, man, you get to play the Eagles. And he's just like, oh, my God, we get to walk into the next round? Like, I'm pretty sure that's what that was, So, I don't want to bet against it. I do like the idea of the upset here. I just don't see it. I see the Bucs kind of.
I know, but these are the playoff games that Tom Brady loses. It's like, oh, I'm going to go up against Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to win. Oh, I'm going to go up against Nick Foles. I'm going to lose. Oh, I'm going to go up against Ryan Tannehill at home. I'm going to lose. Oh, I'm going to go up against Mark Sanchez. I'm going to lose, right? Like these are Like if you look at the names of the quarterbacks that have beat Tom Brady in the postseason, it's like it's a lot of head scratchers.
Good point. It's a good point. Still, I don't see that being
Like, well, however you got to justify your pick to yourself, Nick. You know, you're still
never helps you sleep tonight, buddy. All right, Scotty.
I want the Eagles to win. Yeah, fly Eagles, fly for sure. I'll be rooting for the Eagles. I think the Eagles are kind of a cool story. I was not big on Jalen Hurts coming out of college and was kind of stunned by the draft pick, but he's led that team to a playoff spot. Regardless of whether or not you want to say they're the 7th seed or whatever, they got in. And I don't – there's – the Buccaneers have lost Antonio Brown. They've lost Chris Godwin. Two of their arguably, the big three playmakers on that team. They still got running backs and Fournette, and they still got Mike Evans. But they're kind of taking on water a little bit. They got shut out by the Saints at home a few weeks ago. I think the Bucs are vulnerable. On another show that I did earlier this morning, Shank Club NFL, I actually picked the Eagles to win. I've had some time to kind of think about that, and I don't. It's gonna be tough because the Buccaneers still got the defense.
Yeah,
and the Eagles, they don't have the experience that some of the Buccaneers have from playoff experiences. So we got Elaine. I'm a TB hater.
I'm a Tom Brady hater too.
No surprise there. That's most people at this point nowadays, I think. But I'm not gonna go against myself. I'm gonna pick the Eagles again. I'm gonna roll the Eagles. I think that's the upset of the weekend.
All right.
Something about that team, they're just kind of salty. So,
I guess that's the case for any team this year, right? They've a lot of teams that look really good, but then they have like their little moments. You're like, I guess that team's not as good as we thought they were. But
except for the Steelers, yeah, I'd agree with you there.
Right. What's the next game we got, Nick?
All right, next up, I've got 49ers at the Cowboys. Wow. Twitter picking against the home team here, 63%. So going for the Niners, Jimmy G and crew against Dak Prescott and the who was it from the Wizard of Oz, the Scarecrow as a coach? If I only had a brain, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, that's.
If you watched the Pat McAfee show this week, they had a Vegas odds maker on. And he actually was kind of saying that, hey, you might want to watch this game. This line might not be the most accurate one out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. The 49ers kind of snuck in last week. The Rams gave that game away to them by running the ball 3 times and then punting 3 and out at the end of the game that left the door cracked open for the 49ers. The 49ers have not really looked overly impressive to me this season. Jimmy G in that offense versus Dak. And, the Cowboys just put up 50 on the Eagles. You can say we don't know about being their backups or this or that, but they have the advantage. I think the Cowboys do. I think
50 is 50, right?
What's that?
50 is 50. I don't give a shit.
50 is 50. Playing. The playmakers they have, I think they can do enough with that line to slow down the 49ers pass rush. I was kind of surprised when I saw the Niners were, the Chiefs Kingdom Live poll there were the favorites. I just don't think Jimmy G and the 49ers offense can keep up with the Cowboys offense on the road. Like I said, I think 49ers probably should have lost last week. So I'm gonna pick the Cowboys. Get it done. Take care of business at home.
We just lost all the Shant Club viewers. Thanks, Scott.
No, I already pissed them off earlier when I picked the Cowboys on Nick's show. So yeah.
Oh man.
Am I wrong? What do you guys think? I don't.
I like the Niners to win here. I mean, like you said, 50-50. The Cowboys, they have all stars galore. But how many times have we seen it this season where they'll score 40, and then not 50, but they score in the upper 40s, and then the next week they struggle against the next team. Denver walloped them, right? We walloped them. Like, I mean, it just, I mean, I think they get their confidence up, and then the next team comes in, they're ready. And they know all the tricks that are coming, and they play it right. And Cowboys are just trying to ride on the high from the previous week. And for that reason, I think the 49ers got a shot here, man. If Jimmy G can throw accurately, not under pressure, if he keeps his feet, doesn't get too flustered out there, I think they got a great shot. I mean, Deebo Samuel, I mean, he can burn any defense. So give that guy the ball, they got a shot. I'm taking the Niners.
I wonder how many of these picks are based off the fact that just everybody hates the Cowboys. Nobody.
What do you mean? That's America's team, Nick.
Yeah. Keep telling everybody that.
That's the dumbest shit ever in sports. The America's team crap with the Cowboys.
It's some arrogant shit, isn't it? It's like, oh no, we're America's team. It's like, well, you can't just say you're America's team, man. Like,
it's kind of up to America. But,
yeah.
That's Texas style right there. Just say, yeah, it is. It's America's.
Yeah. And so I'm also, the supermodel's boyfriend. She won't say it, but I'm saying it, so it must make it true, right? I mean, like, it doesn't. That's bullshit. It's more of a pick 'em, right? And I think that has there been anybody in the NFL in recent memory that's had gone from top shelf to just being looked at as kind of total piece of shit, rather more than Jimmy G? I mean, he was turned the franchise around, led him to a Super Bowl, and then he had a terrible
fourth. He missed one pass. Everybody points to one pass in the Super Bowl.
Right. Well, he had an awful fourth quarter, right? But and now it's it was instantaneously. Then he was hurt the next year, and now it's oh well, he sucks, and and look at. I mean, the truth is he's probably never that good. They overpaid him way too early off of however many starts he had. But he does have playoff experience. He's won more playoff games than Dak Prescott has, right? Still, though, I think the Cowboys. I mean, I got to pick the home team here. I mean, I know that. I mean, I'm probably digging my own grave, aligning with Scott on these, but I just don't think the Niners. I mean, they needed the Rams to kind of go brain dead at the end of that game, and Matt Stafford to miss a wide open touchdown that would have won the game to even make the playoffs, right? So I gotta go Cowboys here, as much as I hate them. So
we got Carol and JC in the comments here. JC's Niners got a lot of dog in them. They absolutely bullied LA. The 49ers are a physical team. They play a tough brand of defense. They're smash mouth with the running game. But did they really bully the Rams? I mean, they didn't have a lead in that game until overtime. And they were a first down away from losing that game to the Rams. So I don't know. It's a close game. I'm not going to be surprised if the 49ers win. I think there is more than one avenue or more than one path to victory for the 49ers. Not trying to disrespect the 49ers. They're a playoff team. They're not one of these teams like maybe I think of the Steelers or the Raiders or somebody that kind of snuck into the playoffs. But at the same time, I think the Cowboys get it done at home. I just don't see I don't see the 49ers offense being able to keep up with the Cowboys offense. I think it's see some fireworks from the Cowboys and from Dak. So, but yeah, Nick, you bring up a good point about the Jimmy G thing. He maybe was a little bit premature because he didn't really play a whole lot and then got that big contract. Injuries have been a part of his game, but it's going to be a good game. That's right. Lining up. I said earlier, I think that one along with the Bills and the Pats. I mean, those are probably the two most evenly matched games out of the six that we have here on Super Wild Card Weekend. But
I've touted the Cowboys O-line as being what I thought was some of the better work I've seen all season.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how they do against Bosa, though. I mean, that guy's an animal. So I think it's a great matchup, though. It's gonna be a great game.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt.
All right, next up, Cardinals at Rams. We got Chiefs Kingdom Live Twitter family here picking the Rams heavily, 75%. Only 25% picking the Cardinals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it me? Yeah, I think it's me,
Yep.
right?
I think it's you.
I mean, I hate to go against the Kingdom, but like I just think the Cardinals have a little bit better of an offense. I mean, I know the Rams kind of like are hit or miss, and when they're on, they are on, but they've been missing a lot more than I think the Cardinals have. I think the Cardinals secured their spot kind of. Yeah, I mean, they did math early, and they knew that they were going to get in. So I mean, they haven't been putting on the boosts like we saw at the beginning of the year. But when that team is going, dude, their defense with Chandler Jones is just phenomenal. Kyler Murray's sick. I love what he can do. I mean, for some reason, he looks like the fastest player in the NFL compared to most receivers and running backs. That guy can get it done on his own. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Cardinals here.
I'll go next. I think the Rams are the clear favorite in this game. They won that division. The Cardinals started hot. They started off 8-0, I want to say, and finished 11-6. They're 3-6 in their last 9 games. They're kind of like I mentioned. The Patriots are kind of coasting into the playoffs on fumes.
Well, Kyler Murray was hurt and wasn't playing for 4 of those, I think.
Yeah, that definitely has something to do with it. But I don't know. The Rams are playing at home. They're the better team, I think. They have the defense to kind of shut down the Cardinals. So Matt Stafford, I know I was a little bit disappointed in him. I was really excited at the beginning of the year to see what he could do outside of the Lions organization. Like free Matthew Stafford finally kind of came to fruition there. And he was lighting the league up there at the beginning. He was an MVP candidate for the first quarter, half of the season. It's kind of fallen off a little bit. We talked about I was really disappointed in McVay, not going for that first down, being more aggressive at the end of that game against San Francisco last week. I think I tweeted out when they punted the ball away. I said the Rams deserve to lose this game now for that just absolutely just spineless 3-and-out that they put out there to close the game out, left the door open. 49ers kicked it in and then took it in overtime. But the Rams, I think, are a good team. Aaron Donald is obviously the best defensive lineman in the league. I know Chiefs fans probably don't want to hear that with Chris Jones. No disrespect to Chris Jones. I think Chris Jones is, second probably right in there in that mix in the discussion. But Aaron Donald, they got Cooper Kupp was an all-pro receiver this year. Matthew Stafford, the guy can make all the throws. He can get it done. I think the Cardinals are maybe kind of what we talked about, like the Bills. Somebody seems peaked maybe a little bit too early. Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams.
A lot of pressure on both of these teams based on how they started the season, and then also just, if you're Cliff Kingsbury and you started out 8-0, and then you have a first round exit in the playoffs, it's not looking good, right, to your GM and your owner. Conversely, the Rams, if they don't win a playoff game after they, traded away, 75 first round picks for Matt Stafford, they traded away all those picks for Jalen Ramsey, they signed Odell Beckham Jr., they traded for Von Miller. Like, you've literally tried to do like the Golden State Warriors super team version in the NFL. And if you don't win a playoff game like that, that's going to put a lot of pressure on that organization, because right now is their time to win. So I'm going to pick the Rams. They're at home. I think it's going to be a really tight game. It's a close game. It's a divisional game too, right? So it's really hard to tell, but I think that the Rams have the better coach. I think that McVay is better than Kingsbury. And kind of like what you said, Scott, I know I appreciate that Kyler Murray was hurt, but they kind of seem like that was that 2003 Chiefs team started out 9-0 and went 13-3, and it's like I kind of have that vibe about them where they just seem like they're more of a 500 football team than a winning football team right now. So I'm gonna go Rams. I think they probably win by 3.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, we'll skip past the Chiefs game. We've been doing these kind of in chronological order, but we're going to do the Chiefs last. So,
I think that was it, right? This is the last one.
Yeah, Chiefs is the last one.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. We talked about the Eagles game already. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So no surprise here. The Kingdom voted 100% for the Chiefs, 21 votes. Steelers 0. So
I'll jump in and pick first here, Scott.
Okay.
Did you guys see first? Did you guys see Ben Roethlisberger's interview where he's just like, "We're like 20-point underdogs.
We ain't got no
We're
chance.
against like the best team in football. I'm just gonna go out there and have some fun. I think like we're not even expected to win." Like, do you even start a quarterback who has that kind of hopes for you going into your playoff game? Like, what?
I think he was trying to maybe be funny, and it was like trying to motivate his team. Maybe somehow though was like, "Oh, we suck." Everybody thinks we suck. Like I think he was talking to maybe his teammates more than anything about not having a chance, on the show. But he it sure didn't sound like it in the tone that he had. And I don't. Najee Harris and some of the other people like tweeted it out too. Like maybe they didn't get the message or something. And if you're trying to send that message and they don't get that message, then that's a bad deal.
But I'm feeling pretty good about this game. I'm not like over supremely confident because we always talk about the any given Sunday kind of thing, right? Like Steelers have a knack for kind of hanging around sometimes. But dude, I'm ready. I think our team has been through enough this year, enough adversity. We've shown that we can win in just about every way possible, whether it's defense, offense, field goals, special teams. You know what I mean? Like we put it all together this year, and we the right part when we needed. But yeah, so obviously give me the Chiefs. I'll even take all the points. I bet you it's more than 13.
There's an old saying, you can do whatever you want on your last day. And I think that's what we saw from old Ben in that post-game or that pregame press conference. So, I mean, I think he was trying to be tongue-in-cheek. I think he was trolling the media a little bit. Like, basically, here's what everybody here is either thinking or saying already, so I'm just going to say it. He did turn it into a story. I don't know if it turned into the story that he had hoped for. I think that Scott's right. I think he was trying to sit there and, pull the nobody believes in us card. The nobody believes in us card is all well and good when you have a good team that is underrated by people. Right. The nobody believes in us card doesn't work when like nobody believes in you because you shouldn't be in the playoffs at all, right? I mean, you tied with the Lions. That's the reason that they're in, because they didn't lose to the Lions. It's the only reason that they're in, right? It's because they tied the Lions. So, look, I think we're all in consensus here that nobody thinks the Chiefs are going to lose this game. Is it possible that they do lose this game? Yes. What's it going to take? It's going to take the defense not being able to get off the field, where we've seen a few times this season where we get limited possessions on offense, especially in the second half, like against the Bengals, just because drives go for 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then if we only get the ball 3 times in a half and, we fail to score on 1 or 2 of those, I mean, that's I think that's the Steelers' key there, right? We're going to have to be able to block TJ Watt. TJ Watt. I mean, he's been a monster. He didn't get any sacks in the last game against Mahomes. Mahomes is the lowest sack percentage when pressured in the NFL as a quarterback. So he gets a lot of pressure, but he's very evasive and he avoids getting sacks. So our offensive line, I think, is rated as a top 5 unit in the NFL right now. So, I mean, I think we can limit that. So as long as we can keep those two things under control and not turn the ball over, I mean, it's going to be a double-digit win for the Chiefs. I'm really looking forward to this game, you know. So, I mean, Nick Wright said it's better than a bye week, right? So,
yeah, that was funny. The TJ Watt thing to me, though, is you can neutralize him, double team him. And then what are they going to do to get pressure? Blitz? By all means, please do. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league against the blitz. The Kingdom poll was 100-0, 100%, and coincidentally, I think that might end up being the score of the game Sunday night, 100-0. Look, man, the Chiefs have won 9 of their last 10. They beat the Steelers 3-4 weeks ago. We're up 36-3 in that game, and it wasn't that close. I don't see any way. You talk about, if the Chiefs only got 3 possessions in the game. I don't think the Steelers' offense can stay on the field long enough to do that. Their offense is anemic. Their quarterback is a shell. I've joked in previous episodes before that, people say he's a statue back there. And I'm like, well, no, a statue's sturdy at least. I mean, he gets hit and folds up and coughs the ball up and crumples. And he's like one of those fathead things you stick on your wall out there at quarterback at this point, man. I just don't see them. People are talking about, secret weapon Juju Smith-Schuster is coming back. The dude hasn't played all season, right? Yeah. He's just going to show up in the playoffs and be in football shape in the cold weather and crush it. The Steelers' offensive line is terrible, which does not bode well for their going up against Melvin Ingram and Frank Clark and Chris Jones. Did you all see that stat that Frank Clark is tied for 5th all-time with sacks in the postseason in NFL history? Did you see that?
No. That's awesome.
Dude, it's like he has 8 sacks and 5 pressures in his last, what was it? Or no, it was like 6 sacks and 3 or 4 pressures in his last 2 playoff games. The dude, playoff Frank is a shark, and he's a beast. And they're going to be going up against a banged up, below average offensive line. There you go. Chiefs are America's team. Not if you watch the news. Maybe they are. They're not the media's team. There's no doubt about that. But I just don't see like the Steelers having a way to win outside of the Chiefs having like 5 turnovers and the referees.
To play devil's advocate,
2 touchdowns off the board and make a bunch of bad calls. I just don't see. I don't see it.
To play devil's advocate to that just a little bit, what I could see happening is, even though, like you said, Juju Smith-Schuster, that guy, he's coming back, right? If we don't plan for him to actually play, though, and we just we can stick him out there one-on-one with Dan Sorensen or somebody, right? That's where I'm like, well, we've kind of been known to do that this year. I'm not saying it will happen. I hope our
right, but he hasn't been that. He hasn't been that good or that productive since Antonio Brown left, anyway. So,
right, but he's still a threat, though.
Do you think he's even going to play, though, or do you think that that's just like some subterfuge from them?
I don't know. So they activated him.
Everything I've seen says that they got him back. I haven't seen anything about him.
Yeah, he came back. He was taken off IR, designated to return, and is active. So, but again, the guy hasn't played football all year. You think he's just going to show up in the playoffs in inclement weather? They're not going to be able to protect Ben long enough for him to get deep for a deep passing game. And the Chiefs that I just talked about, they won the first matchup 36-10, but it wasn't even that close. They were up 36-3 with Chad Henne fumbling 3 snaps in a row at the goal line.
Right.
The Chiefs, I'm not kidding. This is not hyperbole. I'm not exaggerating. The Chiefs could have been up in that game like 50-3 or 50-6. They didn't have Travis Kelce. They didn't have Nick Bolton. They were still able to shut down the run. Tyreek Hill had played less than 50% of the snaps and had 2 catches for like maybe 20 yards or something. I just don't see it, man.
I agree with you, man. Like what you were saying, like our defensive line against the Steelers O-line, it's just like men versus boys. That's what I remember from the last game. Just like, wow, they're just getting tossed around Ben didn't have any time. And I was saying this last show, I was just like, I don't see how that changes in 2 weeks. Like, how do you get guys stronger than Chris Jones in 2 weeks? Like, you know what I mean? You can try to double team them, but then we got Melvin Ingram and, you know, Snead and everybody coming in, like Jaron Reed. Like, well, they're going to get to him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm confident.
Yeah, and Spags likes to blitz and bring the heat, and they just you hear this thing like styles make fights. That's like a boxing saying. And sometimes a guy that doesn't have as good of a record, well, he's a good matchup against this boxer he's fighting that has the far superior record. Their styles don't even match up against the Chiefs. Like I don't.
Right.
It's just it's going to be it'll be an epic collapse and failure by the Chiefs if they don't win this game. I see this game being like 45-10.
Okay.
Beat down. I mean, I think you can see Chad. I think you can see the backups in the fourth quarter again.
I'll agree with that. I just don't think we're going to get that many points in the sense that like Mahomes probably comes out early if it's, you know, again 30-3. Like I don't see him playing third, fourth quarter if it's like that again. So I just don't see us getting that many points. But I do see a beatdown, like you're saying, like 30-10, 28-3,
something like that. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Nick, you got a score? Wake up, buddy.
50.
There it is.
50-13.
50 burger.
Yeah, and you know, Bo, I get your point about them. You know, well, if they don't play, I mean, it's still a playoff game, right? So I don't think you see the Chiefs take their foot off the pedal until they're maybe up by 30 or like 35 or 40.
Yeah,
in the regular season, they maybe. You know,
what do you guys think?
They pulled Patrick Mahomes after the first drive of the fourth quarter. I think you see Chad Henne in there maybe towards the end of the fourth quarter.
If it's 30-3, 4 or 5 minutes left in the third quarter, you putting in Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, because weird things can happen. Fumble return for a touchdown, you get an onside kick, or a kick return for a touchdown. I mean, I don't know. You can't be too risky in the playoffs.
Don't encourage him, Carol.
Yeah, don't encourage Bo.
No positivity. No. What do you guys? I mean, I know I'm throwing out a crazy number there. What do you guys think about? I mean, it snowed here today, right? And I think it's maybe going to melt overnight. But do you think that could impact how this game is played?
Yeah, I don't see much melting going on. I think it's about 20 degrees outside.
I think tomorrow what I saw was like in the high 30s. So I don't know.
I don't know what they do to I think they just like de-ice it, right? Like with like.
Well, they've got it. They've got it covered.
Right.
Yeah. That Colts game that we played again, Andrew Luck's last game, that divisional round playoff win the Chiefs had a couple years ago. They I remember going in there and they like had these huge tarps covering the field, and they rolled them off. There was snow everywhere, and there was no snow on the field. So I don't think the field, because they've got that thing set up for, you know, excess drainage, and I guarantee you they've had it covered. And the snow anyway up here, it has stopped. It's not still coming down. So if they had it covered all night and all day today, I don't see that being a problem. Patrick Mahomes, he's balled out in snow games too. You heard him; he's a snow game guy. So I don't know, man. They're just
I'd kind of like to see a snow game. I mean, it definitely
I love Chiefs
our benefit. So
100%.
Yeah,
it would make Big Ben even less mobile, right?
Yeah, Doug's in the comments. I saw a comment by Kelsey, and he was seriously determined. Chiefs offense lights it up. I saw a clip someone put out there of the last time the Chiefs played the Steelers in the playoffs, and they had that awful holding call that took away the 2-point conversion that totally hosed us in that game. And Travis Kelce after the game was saying that referee, he shouldn't be allowed to referee, let alone he shouldn't be allowed to work at a fucking Foot Locker. I think there's some Chiefs on this team from back then that maybe are still pissed off about that game even a little bit too. Want some payback. I think that could be something that's in the back of their minds too. being irritated about that loss in the playoffs and the way they lost it.
So I saw another stat that the Chiefs have by far the most games of playoff experience if you look at how many games each player has played in the postseason.
Right.
While also having the second youngest roster. Did we talk about that on the show earlier?
No, I didn't see that. That was since Wednesday, since we did the show with Joe.
Yeah,
but
I couldn't remember, but I mean that's nuts, right? Like we have like the most experienced team and one of the youngest teams. The youngest roster, by the way, being the Steelers. So, I mean that's who we're playing, obviously, but I mean I don't, like you said, Scott. I mean, this would be like a colossal collapse if we lose this game, and I just don't see with the veteran people and the level of talent and the level of coaching that we have, them not getting up for this game, not getting up to play in front of the Kingdom there in Arrowhead and the Sea of Red. You know that the Sea of Red is going to be loud. You know that it's going to be deafening in there. You know that the Steelers got a bunch of young guys.
Go.
They could sit there and say all they want about, oh, Big Ben's trying to motivate his guys. Like, you got a dude on the way out, and he's sitting there in the media, and he's like, well, we don't have a chance. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, that was a weird press conference. Like, I don't think that I know what he's trying to do, but he didn't do it very well. You know what I mean?
Definitely missed the mark.
He should have just held up a paper and said, fire myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs are healthy going into this game.
Right.
Clyde Edwards isn't going to play, but if you've watched Chiefs Kingdom live before, you know that I'm not that worried about that.
Right.
They're as healthy as they've been all season, man. I mean, they got everybody back. Everybody's good to go.
What would you guys like to see out of this offense, coming out? Like, what kind of plays you want to see run? What kind of schemes or defense, whatever? Like, what do you guys want to see out of this team tomorrow?
I'd like to see a strong run game. I think that Pittsburgh did play that shell coverage against us, and I think that if we could establish a good run game, control the clock until they're forced to start bringing those guys up, and then we can just torch them. I mean, I think that's if you can get the run game established, it slows down those edge rushers. I mean, it really just opens a lot of things up. From a defense, we just need to be aggressive. I think Big Ben has the lowest, yards per completion. So one of the things we really have to keep an eye on that I've seen the defense kind of lapse in the last couple of weeks is letting people get balls in the flat with really kind of nobody around them, so they have a lot of space to get going and try to make guys miss. That happened a lot in the Denver game. So we really just have to make sure that we're bumping those guys on the line and not letting backs get out into the flat. Because, I mean, Big Ben, he's going to try to get the ball off early, and he's going to try to, be throwing it 2 or 3 yards downfield. So we just really got to press those guys up front. And if we do those things, I mean, I think the Chiefs cruise.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Prime time, Sunday Night Football, under the lights. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Tyrann Mathieu. They've got the guys to get it done.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. 0 All-Pros somehow, but that's okay. Yeah. It's only, there's only one accolade that really matters, and that's hardware. And the Chiefs have been taking that home, and the Chiefs have been collecting that here the last couple of years. So looks like we got race cars in the comments. I would like to see Tyreek Hill return to his normal running game. Yeah, no, for sure. That dude.
Yeah.
I want to say he's got an average per carry of 12 yards per carry.
Remember when we used to when we couldn't get the ball in his hands, we just direct snap it to him or hand it off to him and let him get his yards that way because he was so fast and good. I don't feel like we've done that once this season.
Yeah, he hasn't. They definitely haven't done that. I think maybe part of that is injury, maybe part of it's fatigue. The dude runs crazy amounts. When you run as fast as he does, you run an insane amount of yards. Part of that was earlier in his career, maybe when he wasn't getting as many reps at wide receiver and was still fairly new. He's obviously emerged as the Chiefs' top wide receiver these last few years. That's not breaking news or anything. I understand that, but as he's moved, well, they used to use him on punt returns too and kick returns, and once he kind of grew into that number one wide receiver role, I think maybe they're just trying to put less miles on that motor. I don't know. I wonder too with the heel injury. I don't know if he's back to 100% or not. He was out there practicing and was full. He was limited, I think, the last day of practice, but that is probably a precautionary thing. You don't need him out there the last day of practice, re-aggravating anything, or re-injuring something going into a game. But let's hope we don't see him out there trying to high point and outleap McCole Hardman in the end zone during warm-ups either. I don't know if that's where that injury happened or not, but it's time to be smart because, they're going to need that guy. The competition level is going to ramp up significantly after this game. So let's just get through this, get this win, get out as healthy as we can, get the guys some – Nick Wright, like you said, Nick, on who said this is, he coined a new – so better than a bye. Like, you get out there, you stay loose, you keep the rust off, you have 0% chance of losing the game. Build your confidence, work on some things. Yeah, that was pretty funny listening to him. He always irritated me when he was on the radio here in Kansas City, and then now that he's like the national guy that bangs the drum for the Chiefs, I kind of like him a little bit more than I used to, but he's still funny.
Yes, Scott, I'll say that you put out probably my favorite tweet of the week, where you said all these people saying, not to be overconfident. When did worrying and fretting over the playoff games ever work for us in the past?
Right. Yeah, it's not like worrying and being nervous just got us this plethora of playoff wins the last 10 years. I mean, come on, people. What are you worried about?
Yeah, exactly.
Overconfident. First of all, that has nothing we say on this show or anything anybody puts on Twitter is going to affect the outcome of the game. Leaving games early doesn't affect the outcome of the game. All these superstitions and all this stuff that people say, it's just all nonsense. We got Patrick Mahomes, man, and that's the difference. And
he affects the game.
He affects the game.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I get it though. Sometimes it's hard. You get those scars, and we've lived through it too, just like all these other folks have. But yeah, when you got 15, you got not much. You don't really have anything to be worried about. And on top of that, it's not like worrying won you a bunch of games to begin with. So let's try something different and enjoy it. Be confident. They're the Vegas favorite. Maybe Green Bay passed them up here this last week. Super Bowl favorites. Yeah, it's a good time to be a Chiefs fan.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to bring this up, and I forgot about it until we started talking about running backs. And when I said Clyde Edwards-Helaire got hurt, did you guys see they got Darwin Thompson back?
I did.
No.
Darwin Thompson postseason, baby. Let's go. Let's get him in the game. I love that little dude, man.
The D-Train?
D-Trains. A little swole. That's what Tyreek Hill and some of them guys were calling
Little
him.
swole.
The dude's if you go Google, go search videos of Darwin Thompson working out, man. That dude looks like he looks like a beast, man. He's little, but man, that dude fucking was ripped up.
Is he active on the roster, or is he just on the practice squad?
He was signed to the practice squad. I don't know what that means as far as can he come back and play this week. I don't know how that works. They'd probably have to designate him. You got to think Darrell Williams being questionable would maybe even lead to a little bit more of a chance of that happening. Maybe that's insurance in case Clyde Edwards can't come back and Darrell re-hurts the toe this week. It isn't as good as they thought he was. But I don't know. I just got excited about that. I love that dude. I don't know why. Seems like a nice kid, too. Whenever they interviewed him, he was always real respectful and polite. And the dude's got some moves. He got some speed. He can catch passes. Dude's just like a little who was the running back? His nickname was Pocket Hercules. That's the perfect nickname for that dude, too. I
don't know.
I'm trying to think. There's a guy whose nickname was Pocket Hercules. But, yeah, welcome back to Chiefs Kingdom, D-Train. We missed you. We're glad you're back. Hopefully he can get in here in the playoffs and do some work. A little swole. I think it's what Tyreek and some of them guys were calling him his first year in the league, and he was in there, and they were like, "Man, that dude can lift some weight, man, for a little dude." And like I said, there's videos out there of that guy lifting some serious weight. But
didn't he get cut by Tampa Bay?
yeah, he was. The Chiefs waived him at the beginning of this year when they cut the roster down to 53. Tampa Bay picked him up. Then he kind of was on their practice squad. I want to say on and off, or maybe he was on it for the whole year. They recently released him, and you got to think it's because Clyde Edwards-Helaire injury still being out, and Darrell Williams having a toe injury. He's familiar with the system. It's a smart
maybe
pickup,
a little
really.
reconnaissance on a potential Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Opponent.
Yeah, I don't think Tampa Bay's making it back to the Super Bowl this year, but I don't know. So yeah, welcome back, Chiefs Kingdom D-Train. Glad to have you. Anything you guys want to talk about?
No, man, I'm good. I'm ready to go watch some football.
Ready for these games. Ready for the Chiefs game tomorrow night. I got Monday off of work, so I don't even have to worry about the game being at night. It's great. So
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So thanks for everybody that watched, tuned in, everybody that's watched us throughout the year. Go ahead and click that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. If you haven't done it at the beginning of the show, turn on those notifications. We'll be back Tuesday at 6 talking about, playoff win, and we'll know our opponent for the divisional round at that point. So we'll do some breakdowns. I'll put out some Chiefs Kingdom polls too for the divisional round picks of the playoffs. So keep an eye out for that. Love for you all to interact with us, vote on the polls, tune into the show, send us questions, send us comments.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you think we should get or do for win-loss of these pick'ems that we're doing. Scott currently has the lead. I'm currently in last. I don't know. Maybe I have to get him like a nice dinner or something, or I don't know. Leave it up to the kingdom.
If Scott wins, we won't give him anything. But
I don't know if you guys saw, but we got invited to. There's one of our followers, Hachi, Arizona Chiefs Kingdom. I saw that they were talking about, let's go Chiefs Kingdom right there. We're going, and they're going to go. They're ready to go. This is their time. They've been regular. This is a playoff. This is a playoff team. I think they get bored in the regular season, but
yeah,
Chiefs play at the Cardinals, and there was one of our followers was talking about it. And I said, hell yeah, man, Chiefs can be in Arizona next year. He's like, you should come out and do your show from our bar that we have here in Scottsdale. I was like,
oh, dude, that would be awesome.
Oh, dude,
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
I have a ton of friends in Scottsdale too. We'd get like a little audience too. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be dope. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get to some road Chiefs games next year. I've been to some games when they were playing in St. Louis. But yeah, thanks again, everybody that commented. Thanks everybody that follows us on all of our social media things. You can find us at Chiefs Kingdom Live. Really appreciate it. Click that like, click that subscribe button, share with your friends, tell your friends to watch. And again, if you missed that show we did Wednesday with Joe Valerio, go back and check it out.
Yeah, the link's up on all the social medias.
Yeah,
you can find it on any
we
of them.
The links are all out there: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. You just go to the channel 2 and scroll down. It's special guest Joe Valerio episode from Wednesday last week. But until then, it's playoff time. We're gonna go watch some football, and Sunday night, let's go Chiefs. Let's get this big win.
Let's go Chiefs!